Welcome back to the Sunday Business Page.
The battle continues in and out of court over the future of a Sprint billboard that stands atop Mount Washington. In the latest volley, a representative of Scenic Pittsburgh, who appeared on this program several weeks ago, Executive Director Mike DeWita, suggested that Lamar Advertising, which owns the billboard space, could donate or sell that space to his organization and receive a tax deduction. According to DeWita, one possibility could be a Hollywood hillside-like sign, you know, the one with the letters spelling out Pittsburgh, which his nonprofit organization could create through contributions. It's likely that we haven't seen the last act of this drama. Back with us now on the Sunday Business Page is attorney Jonathan Kamen, who represents Lamar Advertising. John, always good to have you on the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
So will we soon see a Hollywood-style Pittsburgh sign up there on Mount Washington?
I don't think so, John. We've been in court on this for years, and we just had a Commonwealth Court argument on Valentine's Day, and we're anxiously awaiting a decision. You know, this is really a property right issue. That sign's existed up there for 90 years.
90 years?
90 years.
When was the first billboard up there?
So we can trace it back to the mid-20s, so 25, 26.
Gee, wow. So nearly 100 years ago.
Right, and I'm sure Pittsburghers will remember that it used to be Iron City, then Alcoa, then Bayer, and now Sprint is up atop Mount Washington.
Sprint is up there. You've got a sign that says Sprint, brighter future for all, I think is up there. And I guess the sign can change.
Sure, like any other billboard, we have the ability to change the message on that and to change the sign as the advertiser wants.
So when Scenic Pittsburgh suggested, I mean, what did they suggest? Did they really call you about this, putting up a Hollywood-type sign?
Well, they've had a number of suggestions over the year, all of which involve us giving away our property rights. The first was to donate the sign to them for their use for Pittsburgh sign or something for Scenic America. Then they've also offered to have the city buy it from us.
And neither one is going to happen.
Neither one is going to happen, correct.
But in the meantime, the allegation is that you're in violation of city ordinances, and they're fining you, aren't they? What is it, $1,000 a day or some kind of fine?
So that was the original start of this case many years ago. Since then, it's proceeded through the courts, and the current posture of that is that we're not in violation. The courts have found that we have a right to be there since we've been there for 90 years and have occupancy permits and all of the appropriate legal items in place. And the city is contesting that, and that's what was before the Commonwealth Court.
So does this case now go to the state Supreme Court? What happens next?
Well,
you need a ruling from the Commonwealth Court.
Correct. We're waiting on a decision from the Commonwealth Court, which we certainly hope will be favorable. And at that point, we hope that we can get together with the city and try and get things amicably resolved, because under this, the only people making money are the lawyers.
Well, I won't knock that, John. But let me ask you, Lamar Advertising, your client, are they sensitive to the fact that there are people who think this is an eyesore up on Mount Washington? Well,
you know, we worked, when we first looked to modernize this board back in 2014, we spent over a year working with the various community groups, the Mount Washington CDC, and a lot of the groups from the north side to discuss what it was that they would want the sign to be. And we came up with a design that I think had, for the first time in a long time, had been accepted by all. We hired lighting engineers, we hired structural engineers, right, and had come up with a plan to modernize the board. But we applied for a permit with the city, and that really went nowhere. In fact, the permit and my $72,000 check are still sitting over on Ross Street.
You mean you've actually proposed a better looking sign, but the city's rejected that?
The city's actually taken no action on it for the last 5 years.
Well, that seems a little peculiar. I guess we'll have to now talk to the city folks about what's going on.
Right. I think part of it is the litigation that ensued. Everybody's sort of waiting to see what happened. But, you know, we have gone through a very public process for a number of years.
Your offer still stands. If suppose you win the Commonwealth Court case, you're willing to put up a better looking sign.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, that sign has been there, as I said, for almost 90 years, maybe a little more. And, you know, certainly we want it to be there for the next 90 years and be a great part of Pittsburgh.
Now, Sprint, which of course is a telecommunications company, does it have a long-term lease, or could another company come in there? It's owned by Lamar, so advertising. So presumably, I could put up maybe I should put up a John Delano sign.
We think you look great at Top Mount Washington, John. So the board is leased on a long-term basis to an advertiser, just like any other billboard in the city. And those contracts do periodically come up, but at this point, Sprint has been there, and they've been a good partner for us.
So you're not anticipating a change in the nature of the advertising?
That's correct. It's an advertising board, and we think it will be an advertising board for a long time to come.
Again, I want to keep coming back to this point, and I'm glad you're sympathetic, at least your client is sympathetic to the notion of billboard blight and eyesore. There was a whole national law passed at one point to remove billboard signs. It seems to me we have as many billboards as ever.
Well, part of the issue is that it's a property right. Our right to operate the business is just like your right to have your house or to go ahead and have a property right. And we're very protective of our property rights because those are businesses. Now, the city does have one of the most restrictive ordinances in the country in terms of outdoor advertising, but those boards that exist have a legal right to continue to exist as what we call a legal non-conforming use.
And companies like Lamar Advertising to have attorneys like you, Jonathan Kamen, defending them in court. Thank you so much. Appreciate the update on this. I know we're going to have you back because this is.
That's right. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Appreciate it. When the Sunday Business Page continues, planning for retirement, why this exercise doesn't receive enough respect. Bob Fragasso joins us with some suggestions. Stick with us.
The Sunday Business Page will be back in just a moment.